I just want to serve. I just want to serve. Government is about the people's business, and my life's work has been dedicated to making government work for all of the people. I have never been afraid to fight for what is right or to speak truth to power, and I have, without exception, taken on the tough battles to guarantee fairness for all. That is why, as a state representative, I asked for a moratorium on the death penalty years before academics proved how costly and uncertain that extreme penalty is. And it was why I sued my own political party over the drawing of legislative districts. And when I won, expanded minority representation and created the first Hispanic district in the state of Illinois. That is why I fought to ban discrimination in housing and private clubs. And when I won, front doors were open to women and minorities that had previously been closed to them. That is why, as the first female member of the United States Senate Finance Committee, I was able to bring more than $1 billion to Illinois. And with that money, Chicago was able to remake Lower Wacker Drive, shore up Lake Michigan, repair crumbling schools, and hire hundreds of additional police officers. I helped to create the Chicago High School for Agricultural Sciences and the Bronzeville Military Academy. And I fought for women's pension equity and environmental justice. And that is why, as senator, I did not flinch from standing up in support of allowing gays to serve openly in the military and for the right of every citizen to live with equality and without fear. I believe in public service, and I have the experience to do the job and make Chicago the city we all want and expect it to be. My guiding principle has always been to give the people a voice that can be heard and to make government accountable. And that will be my guiding principle as mayor. We know that we have to address gaping budget deficits and declining city revenues. But we also know, all of us know, that there is waste and inefficiency, and we must take sensible steps to get rid of it, economize, and use those savings to invest in every neighborhood in our city. Tough economic times are no excuse for doing less or leaving any neighborhood behind. Tough times call for creativity and common sense, and for putting what we have to better use. When I was in the Senate, I was a co-sponsor of the Balanced Budget Constitutional Amendment. I am a proud deficit hawk. And as mayor, I will work to eliminate our deficit and send the City Council a balanced budget. And I'll do that without resorting to fire sales or quick fixes, and I will let you know what is going on. Transparency might have gotten us a better deal on those parking meters. Stabilizing our finances starts with modernizing city government, putting more services and information online, simplifying the way we do business, and targeting the cronyism and patronage that costs every Chicagoan tax dollars and jobs. It will save us millions of dollars when we publicly audit every city department for waste and abuse, eliminate no-bid contracts, make purchasing transparent, and reform grant and tax programs like the TIFs so the money can be used in our neighborhoods and not just as a piggy bank for special interests. We can be thrifty with a purpose and make sure that city government becomes an ally and advocate for the businesses that create the jobs our people need. We will not only cut the red tape, but roll out the red carpet for businesses that want to locate in Chicago. Chicago has some of the finest academic institutions in the world that produce leading-edge research and technological innovation. As mayor, I will work to facilitate partnerships between these institutions, local businesses, and financial resources to make Chicago a world-leading center for innovation and entrepreneurship. We can and will connect our extraordinary resources, linking academic researchers with businesses, manufacturers with new technology, financial resources with new ventures, and our region with the international community. Everybody wins when we promote and market Chicago as a center for worldwide commerce. We can connect government, city government, with businesses that are innovating to help them do what we all need: create good paying jobs in the neighborhoods, which will in turn boost our revenues, keep down our costs, and make our city thrive. Our next mayor must be able to see the potential of all the people, think outside of the box, outside of the loop, and outside of an inner circle. We will work together to make Chicago cleaner, faster, smarter, and better, and we're going to do it out in the open where you can see what we are doing. As mayor, I will also make sure that all Chicago businesses have an opportunity to compete for city contracts. Today, despite the fact that 80% of the population of Chicago are women or minorities, women and minority-owned businesses receive less than 10% of city contracts. And all too often, you have to know somebody who knows somebody to have a clue about where the money went. As mayor, I'll crack down on cronyism and help Chicago's small and medium-sized businesses secure city contracts so they can grow across our city and create jobs for the people who live here. By promoting business in the neighborhoods, those businesses will create jobs in the neighborhoods. And when we create jobs in the neighborhoods, public safety will go up. Jobs in the neighborhoods are a first line of defense against the poverty that breeds gangs. It is a horror that 52 people were shot on one weekend in Chicago. We are a great city, but we must face up to the fact that gang violence is killing our children, threatening our seniors, destroying communities, and undermining our city. As mayor, I will make sure that our new police superintendent will properly deploy law enforcement to target gang leaders who recruit children and prey on the elderly. I will not tolerate their version of domestic terrorism, and we will shut them down. We will give the good people in the neighborhoods the tools they need to make community policing work. Community policing lets us recapture the best of the era when cops were actually on the beat. It helps us take control of our neighborhoods and give young people an alternative to gang membership. I sponsored midnight basketball as United States Senator because I know that most police are good guys who want to do the right thing and would rather mentor a boy than put him in jail. We will improve public safety by giving the police and the communities they serve the support they both need to create comfortable and safe environments in which to live. No child should be afraid to go to school, and no parent should have to worry that school might be a threat to their child's safety. Right now, we have 35 high schools with dropout rates above 50%, places that are churning out nearly as many gang members as graduates. I dedicated my tenure as United States Senator to improving our nation's schools, and as mayor, I will make improving Chicago's schools one of my top priorities. I will work aggressively to reduce this unacceptably high dropout rate by working with teachers who are on the front line to keep kids in school and out of gangs. The moral imperative for our city is to put the effort into educating our children so we don't have to end up incarcerating them. District 299 struggles with a system that is broken, but it should come as no surprise that confusion and complexity characterize a system that has lost sight of the fundamentals: reading, writing, mathematics, gym, art, music, and teachers who can teach, principals who can manage, and educators who know how best to inspire and reach our children. Chicago public school teachers once created an educated workforce that was second to none in the world. We must make it possible for them to do so again. And to those whose working years were spent making Chicago the great city that it is, they must have our absolute promise that they won't be forgotten or kicked to the curb. As mayor, I intend to bring all the support the city has to offer to guarantee that seniors' pensions are protected, their privacy is respected, and their neighborhoods are safe. We owe it to them, and we owe it to ourselves. It's about respect. I can remember as a teenager when Dr. Martin Luther King came to Chicago to march for open housing. My mother didn't want me to go to that march. She was afraid of what might happen, but she also knew that I was going to go anyway. And of course I did. And I can remember regretting my decision when they started throwing rocks at us as we marched. Pretty soon, it got so bad that the older, more experienced activists made a circle, placing Dr. King and the women and the children in the middle. The rocks and the bottles, broken bottles, were coming from everywhere, and they rained down on our heads. And in that confusion, I somehow ended up right next to Dr. Martin Luther King. In the midst of all that chaos, that most terrifying moment, I saw Dr. King standing still with a look of peace on his face that I will never forget. That look of peace made me calm. It reassured me, and that moment transformed my life. And I now have a better understanding of his calm and his peace. By the grace of God, I have been tested and strengthened, and I now understand that challenges make us rise to be the best that we can be. We cannot always avoid the rocks that might be thrown at us, but we can persevere, secure in the knowledge that truth is worth fighting for. I love Chicago. I believe we are a city ever rising. I want little Ben and my great-grandchildren, whenever I get them, my grandchildren, I get them, Matt, calling Matt, to live in a city that gives them as much of a chance in life as Chicago has given to all of us. I believe that when we build on the best of what we have today, we will create a future that we can all be proud of and celebrate. I am confident in our capacity to meet the challenges of our time. I am confident in our future, and I am confident of the people who are Chicago. I want to thank you all for being here, and thank you for your belief in what we can do together. Thank you in advance for your support and perseverance in the weeks and months ahead, and thank you for believing that we can make a difference for the good of all of our people. God bless you. God bless Chicago. Thank you.